Hello everybody, Griffaldez here. Today I will be reviewing Richard Garriott's Tabula Rasa. Reason being, I've seen a lot of reviews like this around on the internet, but I haven't really seen a lot for Tabula Rasa, so I figured it'd be a good starting point to jump from, to get going from. So without further ado, let's jump into the game. Alright, so here we see the character creation screen. There's my original character, Angelo, and two of my clones. Now, you've heard of the branching system for characters. It's pretty good. You start out as a recruit, and then once you reach level 5, you can become either a soldier or a specialist. And once you reach level 15, say you picked soldier, you could become either a ranger or a commando. Now, at each branch point, they award you a clone credit. And as you can see, I have none right now because I've created my maximum number of clones. But you can use your clone credits to copy your character, and say the character you're copying is level 14. The character you create, like the copied character, will be level 14. That's not to say, though, that the copied character is a complete carbon copy, and this is where the cloning engine really shines, apart from not having to play through all the lower level stuff to get back to the higher level stuff. So here we have the character creation screen. You use this on initial character creation or with cloning. Now, it's important to note with clones, they aren't outfitted with any gear. Like, they get the level 1 gear, but you need to transfer money to them, you need to transfer weapons and ammo to them, you need to name them, you need to do... They are essentially a new character in every way, except that they start out at a higher level, so you need to keep that in mind when you're doing it. Other than that, the actual character creation system, it's pretty good, it's pretty detailed, but at the same on the same token, it's pretty standard as well. Like, you name your guy, you change the face, you pick your starting armor, you pick the color of your starting armor, so on and so forth. Alright, so we're in the actual game now. This is one of the main bases for the humans, and I'll just give you a quick tour of the base here. Generally speaking, you have all the standard MMO stuff. Like, here is a shop to buy weapons and repair your gear. And you can also buy ammo there for your guns. It's important to note in this game, don't waste your money on buying new gear all the time, because you need to keep a constant supply of ammo up. Because this game really does focus on the shooting things side of it. Melee attacking isn't that great of an idea. So just keep that in mind when you're playing the game. There's the armor shop. You can repair your gear there, buy new gear. Not sure what that thing is. I think it's some sort of artillery cannon. This here is the teleport point. If you've played games like WoW, it's similar to the flight point in WoW. You run around, you collect them all, and once you collect a given teleport point, you can teleport to that point from any other teleport point within a given zone. You can't teleport from zone to zone using the teleport points, because each individual zone is separately loaded. But you can travel between zones fairly easily via a dropship or just going through an instance portal. There's the HQ building, big cool hologram up there. You can see all the other side buildings up on the side. There's the hospital. That's where you respawn when you die. Respawning in this game, they're pretty easy on you in this game, actually. You get resurrection sickness. So, like, your stats reduce when you revive at the hospital, but you don't lose any EXP, you don't get any major durability penalties to your armor that can't be repaired with just, like, a couple credits. So, that's pretty good. I don't know about you guys, but I hate it in games when you get major penalties for dying. So anyways, that's it for the tour of the main base. Alright, so let's explore the combat system a bit. Now, one of the things you need to note about the various weapons in the game is different weapons do different things. Like, for example, this is my basic rifle. It affects most kinds of enemies, but say you're fighting a big tree monster that's unaffected by conventional weapons. I would switch to, say, my laser rifle, which can affect the big tree monster. But say you're fighting these annoying little sniper guys, they're called light benders. They can't actually be affected by lasers. So I would switch back to my regular rifle to blast the hell out of those guys. Now, against, say, robots and such, They have all the weird internal circuitry and whatnot. You'll want to pick up one of these guys here. It's called an EMP weapon. An EMP weapon, it's really good on any enemy to strip away the shields, but it's particularly effective against mechanized enemies because it just like fries their circuits and takes them out really fast. So when the guys that made the game were talking about innovation and having to like think on your feet when you're fighting and whatnot, it's absolutely true. Because there's all these modifiers and penalties depending on what weapon you're using, depending on what part of the terrain you're on, depending on whether you're crouched or not. For example, if you're on the high ground, you get a damage bonus, but if you're on the low ground, you get a damage negative. If you are running around like an idiot versus standing still, you will do less damage, but at the same token, if you're running around, you're harder to hit by the enemy. Now let's just take an example of this. Here's the storage tank, and you might have seen the 3 crosshairs zooming in. That's target beating. The closer the crosshairs are to your actual central reticle, the more accurate your shots will be. Now, it's a good idea, especially when you're starting off a fight, and even more so when you're a ranger like I am, to let the target fully bead. Now when you kneel down like this, they completely disappear and your reticle starts flashing, indicating you have maximum accuracy. Let's just try to blow this thing up. See, I blew that up pretty fast. Now you have these ugly bastards here. They're mechanized, so I would switch to my pulse rifle. Now he didn't know what the hell was going on, and I just blew the stuffing out of him. But if I had been, say, down on the ground, fighting toe-to-toe with him, like those guys, they're pretty much assault fighters. They would have mopped the floor with me. Alright, that's enough about guns. Let's talk abilities. Now, your abilities are mapped to the right-hand side of your user interface. I should have mentioned this before. Q cycles through your weapons, E cycles through your abilities. Now I've selected Carpet Bombing. Carpet Bombing is a pretty cool ability, and let's have a look at this. You left-click to fire your weapon, you right-click to fire your abilities. Let's see, Carpet Bombing drops that beacon, and kaboom! You get all those guys falling down, then you can just run in with your shotgun or like throw a grenade in and just raise hell. Alright, now let's get to the couple bad points I have with Tabula Rasa. For one, it is pretty new, so it is still pretty glitchy. Like, you'll get stuck in funny places, like, for example, against this, if you run up here, you might get stuck against the edge of the thing, but that's no big deal. You just type /stuck, and you'll be teleported a few bits to the side, and you just keep going. The major glitch in this game comes with finishing off enemies. Sometimes when you kill an enemy, you'll get them standing there, and they'll bob back and forth, and it'll take a few seconds for the server to register that the enemy has actually died, so you can go on and loot them and continue on with your day. It has a lot of server lag, just because it's like a new game. But really, the glitches in this game are so minor and so overlookable when compared to the rest of this game that they're really not even an issue. Tabula Rasa is a game that tries to be a new kind of MMO, and overall it succeeds. It does some things that other MMOs don't do, but it still has all the stuff that you would expect an MMO to have. Really, I wouldn't say Tabula Rasa is more than the sum of its parts, but it's definitely a game that matches the sum of its parts. So, in closing, I guess I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Griff out.